Hey YouTube, how's it going today, guys, girls, and everybody in between? My name is Konskis, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about something in Destiny 2 that has been kind of on the mind of the community for the last, weeks since the season of the Splicer came out and since it got announced for the season, and that is Transmog. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Transmog is, what's wrong with the system that they have in place right now, and then maybe some ways that Bungie can look at for how to fix it. But first I want to start by saying, if you guys are not familiar with me, that's not a surprise. I am kind of new to this, but kind of not. I've been trying to get started on YouTube for a little while. I'm actually a first grade teacher, and I stream part-time and have tried YouTube here and there, but didn't really know what I was doing, so I'm giving it another try, trying to put more effort into it. So that's a little background on myself. Just know I only have one rule for my channel, and that's just be positive. Of course, you can, if you're giving feedback, especially on this video, just, try not to shame anybody at Bungie. The team works their hardest on the game. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what is Transmog. So in games like this, like Destiny 2 is a it's like an MMO FPS RPG, massive multiplayer online role-playing game, first-person shooter, whichever way I said that in. And there's a lot of systems that are going on in the game, and they continue to add more and more as the game's life goes on. And with the most recent season, the season of the Splicer, we got the introduction of Transmog. So with Shadowkeep, I believe, we got Armour 2.0, which gave us universal ornaments for the armor that we bought from the Eververse, or different ornaments that we could earn through playing the game. We'd unlock them through the season pass. And now this season they've introduced Transmog, which lets us change our appearance of our armor using the appearance from any armor we've unlocked or earned in the game. And there's no statistical change on the armor. Your stat rolls all stay the same. Your mobility, resilience, intellect, discipline, strength, all of those stats stay the same. The amount of mod slots stays the same. The only thing that changes is your appearance. And this is only for legendary armor. Exotic armor has ornaments. You can use like common, uncommon, and rare appearances if you want. I personally use one of them, but typically you can only change the actual appearance other than of the armor on legendary. Otherwise, if you go into the appearance screen that they've added, you can only change the shader for anything lower than legendary rarity. So it's just a cosmetic change, and it allows for all of us to make our characters unique. I'll pop a picture of both of my characters up on the screen here while I'm talking about this. My hunter, I think I've used maybe 3 of the consumable for armor synthesis, which is what Transmog is called in Destiny. And I think for my Titan, I've used a little more, just kind of playing around with different looks. I'm not as careful on my Titan because he's not my main character. But so that's kind of like a background of what Transmog is. In Destiny 2, it is called armor synthesis, like I said. They just gave it a different name to match, the vibe of the game. We've got the whole futuristic, thing going on with Destiny, so they call it armor synthesis instead of Transmog, which is fine. I like the name. But let's go into what's wrong with it, because there are for sure some things that are wrong with the armor synthesis / Transmog system in Destiny 2. So the first issue that I want to bring up is the fact that we only get 2 sets for free at the start of the season through doing the quest for Ada. And then we can only earn basically 2 more sets through the bounties that we can pick up from Ada, because you can only pick up 10 bounties a season. So let's dive into the bounties a little bit. So like I said, we only get 10 bounties per character per season. You can get one for Vanguards. You can do stuff for Vanguard strikes. You can do things in Crucible, in Gambit, in raids, and you can pick up a destination bounty, which will give you a objective based on a random destination in the game. I have one to do 4 heroic empire hunts on Europa. I haven't picked up another one of those world ones because I haven't done that, because I haven't done empire hunts in a while. But so those 10 bounties, to be able to get one, you need 150 synth strand. So there's a bunch of new currency added for this season with the Transmog system. You need 150 synth strand to buy one bounty. And you can only earn 1 synth strand every 2 minutes. So it's time gated. You can only earn 1 synth strand every 2 minutes. So it takes, there's people out in the community that have done the math to figure this out. It takes 5 hours to earn enough synth strand to buy one bounty. And after you earn that one bounty, it's going to take you 160 hours of playtime to reach that seasonal cap of doing those 10 bounties. So in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't sound like, a big amount of time, especially for someone like myself who, I might take a season off here or there. But when I play Destiny, I spend a lot of time in the game. I've played Destiny since day one of D1. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, I know everything. Because I know, I've taken time off and there's things I don't know about the game. But as someone who's played the game for 7 years, 160 hours doesn't sound like a lot. But when you think about it, that's 160 hours that you could either just, do this stuff passively and, it wouldn't be 160 straight hours working on it. But if you focus solely on working on your synth strand bounty or your synth weave bounties, it would take you 160 hours to earn that cap. And you can only do 10. So there's a cap on how many you can do in a season. There's a time gate for how much synth strand you can earn. And so it equates to a large amount of time just to be able to get these 2 extra sets. And I don't see that as very fair to the player. I know some things you can just do, like while you're doing your stuff, but the fact that there's a limit, I think, is the issue. Because you can only earn, in this season, 4 sets total of your synth weaves that are, tied to your character. So Hunter, Warlock, and Titan all have a different consumable that they use for their synth weave to buy their appearances for their armor. Alternatively, and this is another big issue, which I completely understand, is that in the Eververse, you can buy synthweave templates that, with silver, so by spending money, you can buy these synthweave templates that they're basically a token that gives you that consumable for your class. One token costs 300 silver, so starting with that, you'd have to buy the smallest pack of silver that you can, which is $5, to get, I think it's 500 silver, and then you have to use 300 of that silver to buy one token. But if you need 2, you have to buy silver again to have 1,000, just to have more left over. Or you can buy 1,000 silver with the 100 bonus, so 1,100 for $10 to give you 5 tokens. And those 5 tokens equal 1 set of synth weaves, essentially. So when we think about the math, so it takes you 5 hours to earn enough synth strand to buy a bounty, and it takes you 160 hours to finish 10 of those bounties, focusing on those bounties alone. So 160 hours of playtime, or you drop $10 on silver and you get one set. And then you drop another, so you drop $20 and you get the 2 sets, and you bypass that 160 hours of playtime. Now, this is something that's cosmetic. So the issue I see is, why are we paying real money for this if it's cosmetic in the game, and outside of being, like the Eververse ornaments or exotic ornaments, different ships and ghosts like that, emotes and stuff. I understand that being monetized. That's just extra stuff. You don't really need it, gives you no benefit. But they're putting a cap on the amount of looks we can have for our characters. And if you're like me, you change your look up a lot. I've changed my look up at least seven or 8 times a season, I would say, if I had to put a number to it. And the issue there is, it's not really fair to the player to be able to bypass that with $20 when you've already spent, if you're like me, you've bought the base game, you've bought every expansion, and now they want me to spend $20 or spend 160 hours focusing on this one concept of the game when I could be doing so much more. So that brings me to the end of the video, which is going to be my solution. My solution is I would say it's pretty quick, simple, and easy. Now, do I think Bungie will do this? I don't know. I don't know when there's going to be a change, or if there will be a change to the system. But my solution to this problem is, instead of making it cost all these extra currencies that we have to work for a lot of time to earn, and we have to focus on specific bounties, I say make it cost glimmer and legendary shards. Something that we earn while we play the game, while dismantling gear that we get that we don't need. That gives us legendary shards, 3 legendary shards per piece of legendary armor. Some glimmer for rare pieces, no glimmer for legendary. And you could even make it cost gunsmith materials if you wanted to. But they can keep the option in the Eververse store to buy tokens if you want, but make it less expensive. Give us 5 tokens for $5. That way people don't feel like, I can't earn this glimmer and legendary shards, so I have to spend $10 to be able to get this stuff, so I'm not going to do it. My price per piece, I was thinking, what would my price per piece be if I was to, be in charge of this? And I would say, make it cost like something like 25 to 50,000 glimmer and 10 to 20 legendary shards a piece, and maybe like 35 gunsmith materials to be able to do armor synthesis. I feel like that sounds like a more reasonable price instead of 160 hours or $20 after you already spend money on the game. Unless you're a free-to-play player, which then that's why you keep the option there for the $5 for 5 tokens. But again, like I said, I'm no expert. This video is just my thoughts on Transmog and maybe ways that we can fix it or change it. And I think that's all of my points that I really want to talk about in this video. If you have anything that you would like to share, or any ideas that you would like to give Bungie, I should say, you can drop those down in the comments below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you would like more. Make sure you hit that notification bell. I'm hoping to get uploading some videos here every now and then. And if you want to catch me on stream, that's at twitch.tv/Konskis_. Make sure you get that underscore in there. I am streaming most days for about 3 hours. All depends on the day, of course. And that will be changing here soon with the end of the school year coming up. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.